Hey, Buck, I'm so thrilled you're back as a skipper in New York City. You're so awesome at it. I'm wondering what your thoughts were when you had that opportunity placed in front of you, and what you're doing with it, Buck.
Well, it's an honor. Anytime, there's not a day goes by, Rich, I don't realize how lucky I am to be allowed to be around these guys in a great organization that's really moving forward for a lot of reasons, and great ownership, and there's the great leadership in the front office with Billy Epler and his group. They're just so many things. The only thing I have to worry about is just managing the team, and obviously that's a full-fledged job, and there's just a lot of good energy now. We understand we've only played 43 games. There's an eternity left, but it's good to. You always like to have people, feel good. We know there's going to be some bumps along the way, and there already have been, as far as some injuries and stuff. But people are happy they don't want to hear about your problems, and they're happy that you got them. That's like complaining about playing a day game after a night game or a doubleheader. Trust me, there's a lot of people out there, don't want to hear about you staying in a nice hotel and flying on a charter plane and getting in at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, spare me. It's a great way to make a living, and I'm just trying to stay out of the way. And we got some good players that care, and that's what I'll say about them. And they're fun to be around.
So I imagine one of those guys would be Pete Alonso, who I've gotten to interview on this program, and he's just so dynamite. You've been around, as I mentioned, New York City and what it takes to succeed there. Why do you think it works so well for Pete Alonso? Buck,
I think he's just so sincere, Rich. He's just, he's the same guy every day. He walks through the door. I mean, think about, the things that he's gone through already this year. I think people miss how strong mentally he is. I mean, the guy flips his car 3 times. I mean, can you imagine as you're spinning around, your wife's at the red light behind you, they're making the move to spring training. And thank God, I was kidding him later when it calmed down. I said, how'd you feel about doing those leg presses in the off-season? Because he basically leg pressed the windshield out to get out. And then he comes over to the ballpark, and then, who knows, a while later he's hitting the face with a baseball and hitting the shoulder and hit again. And, I mean, I don't think sometimes we understand the intestinal fortitude it takes for these guys to climb in the boxes today with a slick ball in cold weather. And guys, a lot of times they're not intentional. Most times they're not intentional, and just they can't command the fastball, and they're throwing 95 to 100 miles an hour. And Pete just keeps climbing in there and competing. When he collides with the ball, it does special things.
Yeah, and he does seem to have the mentality where a fan base places so much into him and on his shoulders. He seems to handle it like it's nobody's business, Buck.
Well, I think he understands, like a lot of guys, and it's a good example. It's a responsibility. When you're doing something that's so important to a big fan base like ours is, I mean, it's part of your responsibility. They it's like I tell guys about autographs. When you have to worry is when they quit asking. Okay, when your opinion doesn't mean something, and Pete's, he doesn't want to do it necessarily, but he looks at it as part of his responsibility. You're hitting 4th for the New York Mets. You're going to be asked questions, and I think he handles it well. And what comes across, Rich, is he's just sincere. There's not any phoniness about Pete, and he's approachable every day by me, regardless of what happened the night before. And I tell you the other thing, if Pete's looking for a weakness, if he's got one, he's going to attack it. He's going to attack it. He's not a guy that says, well, I hit well and heck with the rest of the stuff. He wants to be a good base runner. He wants to be a great first baseman. He's done well over there. He wants to be good at everything.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.